I don't have a story for you today. I just want to talk. Don't know how far I'll get with what I'm going to talk about. I've been busy all day long. Some of you requested a fall table setting. Well, I had to clear the table first of all of the stuff I piled on it and put it here and put it there, and then I had to start looking for my fall decorations. I don't have anything marked in my boxes and my bags and my drawers or wherever I put it. I've got Christmas with the fall stuff. I've got Easter stuff with the Christmas stuff. I'm really well organized. You can tell that. But I was trying to get things ready, deciding what I was going to use for my table display for fall decoration. And by the way, while I'm talking to you, little rhinestone was out right there. Well, I didn't have a little rhinestone to replace it. I got little pink ones and little blue ones, but I didn't have a little silver one. So I reached in my book box. You know what a book box is, at where I keep all of my glasses. And I said, okay, I'll find an old pair that I used to wear, and the size is wrong, and they a broken arm on them or something like that. But they've got a little rhinestone on the sides. So I said, okay, I can't use these glasses for anything else. I'll just pinch out those little rhinestones on the sides and replace the one. Well, it's on here somewhere. Yeah, you can see it there, because it's a tiny bit smaller than the rest of these, but it's good enough to keep you from looking at that black spot that was there. So that's how I'm using my, I don't have to go by the little rhinestones. I've just got my own collection of old glasses. You know, you never throw away things like that. You just never know when you can use part of it. You know, it's like those things that have come apart and you've lost the pieces to it. Don't throw away what you got left, because you're going to come up with a project that you can use those parts. Well, that's what I've done today. I've found that little teeny tiny rhinestone on an old pair of glasses, and I got the glasses fixed. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you women know that's a fact. I used to watch Home Gardens years ago when it first came on, when it was really good. And I don't remember the lady's name, but you'd see her come through the house with her wrench and her screwdriver and her hammer and whatever else she had. She's going to the kitchen because she's going to fix the leak under the sink. Have you ever tried fixing a leak under the sink? I can't get under the sink. You got to be able to get under there first. But I thought, women like me aren't going to crawl on the floor and have water dripping in their face. They're going to call a plumber. It's worth every penny, every nickel, every dime. Going to call a plumber. So anyway, but I'm a fixer myself, but not when it comes to electrical things and plumbing and things that are hard to do. But anyway, I can fix little things like this. Yeah, always come up. You got the glue, you got the tape, you got the screwdriver and what have you. You can do it yourself. So okay, so much for my glasses. What was I getting to? I have to remember what I was going to talk about. Yeah. I was in I don't know if it was in the kitchen or the bathroom, and I could hear somebody laughing and laughing and laughing. Well, what in the world is that? I don't have the TV on. It's my iPad. I've got my iPad on. Got on YouTube. I don't even know what's on. And I came and looked. And what I discovered was Jeanne Robertson. Now, all of you know who she is. If you don't, you're going to find out, and you're going to start looking for her on YouTube. Actually, Jeanne is gone all the way to her Heavenly Father a few years ago, but she was one of the best stand-up comedians I've ever seen. I haven't seen that many, but I know a good one when I see one. YouTube had put her on the list, and there were 8 or 10 videos there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to watch every one of these. I just can't miss watching one of these. But what I want to tell you about Jeanne Robertson was first time I ever saw her, been several years ago. I didn't know who she was, and I started watching her. And it was funny because she was telling a story about her pantyhose. She hit the nail on the head. I had a pantyhose story too. Now, she was talking about buying pantyhose, and you know, she's 6'2". As she said, they don't make pantyhose to fit a woman's leg that's 6'2". And she went on to describe how she had to put them on and how far up her legs she could get. And when she finished, she was saying, my pantyhose came to my knees. Well, I can tell you that. And it's like, oh, that's corny. But if you see this 6'2" woman standing on a stage with her microphone, and she's telling the story about her pantyhose not fitting right, you cannot hold back the laughter. And I especially could not, because her pantyhose story was so similar to mine that I couldn't stop laughing. So after I got through watching the one that she was showing, oh, it was the cutest thing it was. I can't even remember the name of it, but it doesn't matter which one you go to, you're going to like it. And once you start watching them, just keep watching one after another. She is the best I've ever seen when it comes to comedy. In fact, she's my ideal. I've always wished I could be a stand-up comic. I don't have what it takes, but I sure wish I did have, because sometimes I can sit down and I start telling myself a story, and it's funny. I think I'm funny. And I think, oh, if only I could be standing on a stage telling my story. So I was there this afternoon watching her, and I looked and I looked and I said, her hair's just like mine. She wears her hair just like mine. Now I'm going to show you that's the truth. You're going to believe me, because I found one of the videos and I stopped it, and I'm going to try to turn it around and show it to you just for a few seconds so that you can see my hair on the side. See how short it is? And over here, and it's got the little part, and here's this little nothing hair. Okay, take a look at Jeanne Robertson. Hold on.
get up and see it myself. So we organized what we referred to as Tony's Great Hawaiian Perk Trip to see the crystal
Wait a
blue
minute,
water.
I want to get in.
This was something else. We cashed in every mile we could. We got free tickets. We got free hotel rooms. We did all of this. All I asked Left Brain to do.
Well, I'm trying to get a
Near the
close-up.
Honolulu airport for the night we arrived. We were going to get in at 10:30, and we couldn't go.
Well, I'm going to get it. You just sit there and wait. Because I want you to see her.
Bean boots aren't made to sit on a shelf. They're made to be
Well, doggone. Wouldn't you know it mess up on me?
From Maine to Tokyo.
Left Brain and I are still trying to learn to sign for the hearing impaired. Most
Look at
difficult
her
thing I've
hair.
ever learned or tried to learn. And Left Brain said, well, if you're going to learn it, I'll learn it too. You can have somebody to chit-chat with. He attacked learning sign language. He made 1,800 flashcards, and he memorized them within 2 weeks. It took me
Well,
months,
that's all I'm
and
going to show you.
but he memorized
Because
them with
you
that
can...
left brain. And he never, while staring right at the
Come
palm of
on
his
now.
hand.
Now, you can go to YouTube and you can put in Jeanne Robertson name, and you can watch one video after another. And I'm telling you, she is hilarious. But to think that the first show I saw of her, she's standing there talking about her pantyhose. And I thought, she's copied my story. True story now. If there's anything I don't like, it's copycat. But then again, when I looked at her today, and she's been long gone, I don't know how many years it's been, but let me tell you, if you need a laugh, you go on YouTube, Jeanne Robertson, J-E, I got Jeanne Robertson. That's what you're looking for. It doesn't matter which video comes up, you watch it. You find it hilarious. There's another one she did about doing stand-up comedy for senior citizens. We don't want to miss that one. She was so funny. That's all I can say is she was so funny. She was so funny. And she, to me, she still is funny. Now, I never did like copycatting. I just hated when somebody would copy my dress. I had a girlfriend that when I get a new dress, or usually a neighbor who was a seamstress would make my clothes for me, and I'd tell her how I wanted the sleeves to be and how the skirt should be and this, that, and the other. We'd make changes because I never would follow a pattern exactly like it was. I had to make changes somehow in the neckline, collar, sleeves, whatever. I had to do something to it because it always just irritated the life out of me when somebody looked at my dress and says, "Oh, I've got that pattern." And I think, no, you don't have this pattern. This is my pattern that I created myself. We have these funny little quirks about us, you know. And one thing, I don't copy other people's work, and I don't want them copying mine. Now, I did copy the glasses, but it was my own daughter that was wearing the glasses. And I liked them so well that she ordered me a couple pair. And from then on, I kept wearing them. And it's funny when I go in the antique shop and she's working, because this is the kind she's got. She's got the Borealis. Oh gosh, they're so pretty. And those are the ones she wears all the time. Well, I forget when I go in the antique shop that I've got my glasses on. And you just get used to it and think nothing of it. You don't realize that they're flashy and noticeable, that people look at you and they look twice when they see your fancy red or green or blue glasses. And then when I'm standing by the cashier's register and somebody's paying for their antique or item that they've just bought, they give me a look and they give her a look and then they'll give me another look and I have to say, she's my daughter. Or if Jeanne says it ahead of me, she says, she's my mother. That lets the people know that while we're all standing there talking, yes, we're wearing the same kind of glasses. But that's okay in her case because she was wearing them first, and I just really liked them. And I said I want it to be my logo, you might say, for my website. But I am a stickler for don't copy my work. I won't copy yours. And I don't have much to say anyway. Goodness, who wants to copy what I've got to say? Every now and then I might tell you something funny, but it's rare. It's rare. It's just everyday stuff, you know, with my decorating and my trips and things. And so I still keep turning on YouTube. Since I don't know who put them on, but there were 8 or 10 of them all on YouTube, and I didn't know which one to watch first. But I'm telling you, watch Jeanne Robertson on YouTube. It will make your day. We need a laugh at least once a day. Sometimes my laugh is trying to get to the bathroom in time. Sometimes I don't get to the bathroom in time. But I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. If you're my age, or a little younger or a little older, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been drinking my Dr. Pepper for so long. Oh, this is funny. When went out to Jeanne's farm the other day, we were out bumping around the farm. It's uphill and downhill and following this path and that path, in the woods, out of the woods. Yeah, that's what we were doing, but I was in the front seat. And we made a stop at one big field, and Jeanne she loves her farm, everything about it. It just amazes me how much she liked living on a farm. Now, we're not talking about a working farm where you have gardens and all that stuff. They may have that one of these days, but they're still just trying to get the house in order, renovating, painting the barn. The next thing is a stoop on the back at the back door, because when I go in and out, see, I have to be very careful now about my walking and going up and down steps. And they've got 2 little old crappy steps at the back door, and I said the next project is a stoop with a cover over it and a rail to hold on to, because I don't want to fall down when I go in their house. So, I was going to tell something about the farm. Oh yeah, Jeanne, she saw this crushed, mashed soft drink can. You know how people squash them and throw them off to one side. And she picked it up and she said, well, wouldn't you know, it's a Dr. Pepper can. So I said, well, people know what the good drink is, don't they? She rolls her eyes. So anyway, I don't know what else I was going to tell you, except I am in the process of doing a table setting. This is a tough one because my materials are so scattered. They're in boxes, they're in tubs, they're in those plastic garbage cans that you use in the kitchen, and they're in garbage bags. And all that's in big plastic tubs. Here, there, and everywhere. The other thing is, I always have a table arrangement of some sort, whether it's floral, whatever else. Sometimes it's an arrangement of oil lamps, or the next one's going to be an arrangement of my chickens and roosters. I just love, I'm sitting here looking at them now, but I want to do an arrangement with them so that you can see and enjoy them as much as I do. So I've got them all ready to go. Once I clear the table and the credenza and the other credenza, I looked around and I always have to have a centerpiece, some kind of centerpiece. And I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's in the living room and dining room. Arrangements. The rest are in the bedroom. I didn't count them. So, I don't pick up one of those arrangements and put it on the table. No. I start gathering bits and pieces, and those that I bought recently, those I've had for months or years, and I start making a new one. Now look right here. See what you see? That's one of my flower arrangements sitting on the little table behind me. That's what I do, folks. That's what makes me happy. And I like to decorate. I've always liked to decorate. But I have that dream of being on stage. Now, this sounds crazy. I don't know if you people dream or not, but I've had nightmares every night as long as I can remember. Wake up from nightmares. But I've also had dreams of being on the Johnny Carson show. I used to dream about being on his show. And one of the things that I dreamed about, you may have seen this video, was when I was making Kentucky horse biscuits. Well, you can look that story up I know it's in my book, but I'll check and see if it's on my video. When I was in the production of Kentucky horse biscuit. Use your imagination. I'm not going to go in depth and explain it all to you, but I was making money with Kentucky Horse Park, with the Kentucky Training Center, the gift shop at Cumberland Falls State Park. There was someplace else. And I sold a few in my little craft shop. So I would dream about going on Johnny Carson's show and showing him my Kentucky horse biscuit, and they were selling well. Let me tell you, they were selling well. And it was so funny, and I thought, you've got the man that makes the jewelry from bird droppings. You've seen that, haven't you? Yeah. You've seen the man that, what do they call them? Cow chips. Makes jewelry from cow chips. Doesn't that get to you? Oh, we all want a pair of those, don't we? Necklace, nice little brooch. Oh, just think of the earrings I could have made out of cow chips. But I was going to have something different. Remember the lady with the potato chips? She saved these potato chips and she showed them to you one at a time to tell you what it looked like. I just couldn't grasp that one, that what happens if you drop the potato chip and it breaks apart. That little creation is gone. But I know there were other guests that came on with their creations. But I would have dreams of going on Johnny Carson's show and showing Johnny my Kentucky horse biscuit. I don't have but one or two of them left, and it's in the closet in a bag somewhere, and I'm not going to go hunt it. But I have told you about when I was in business making horse biscuit. And if you want to know what I was making them out of, what kind of material I was using, think. You won't have to think long. They were genuine horse biscuits. So, that's my story for today. It's not really a story. It's just a jumble of this, that, and the other because I'm tired and I want something good to eat. I've got enough food in that refrigerator to last a week. I could prepare 6 good meals. In fact, I bought food thinking I would display food on my table setting. What kind of table would I set for fall? Why not Chinese? Do you have any idea how much I know about Chinese cooking? Asian, what else do they call it? Oriental. I know that they use a lot of rice, so I bought some rice. I thought, gosh, I love egg rolls. Now I'm not gonna make them, but I buy the Chung egg rolls, and there's 4 in a box. I said, okay, if I use the egg rolls and the rice with vegetables in it, how many egg rolls? 2 boxes. That would be 8 egg rolls. I could make a nice big platter with that. What else would I make? Well, folks, I bought fruit. I bought chicken because I was going to do some General Tso chicken. I was going to fry it and put it in the sauce and everything. I got watermelon, cantaloupe, the mixed fruits, grapes. Let me think. I got some the kind of bread that kind of hard. And they cut it in little bitty pieces, but they're perfect for a meal like that. Now I have to have something to drink. I've got my bread and what have you, got my fruits. I don't have room for anything else in my refrigerator. But I also changed my mind about putting food on the table, because by the time I get my decorations on the table, and the plates and the cups and the glasses and the silverware and centerpiece, I don't have room for food dishes. Now I'm warning you in advance what to expect. But in the next day or two, I will be showing you my fall table setting. I still keep looking at my hair and thinking, Jeanne Robertson's hair looks just like mine. And it does. Be sure and go on YouTube and watch her. It'll make you appreciate good humor. We need good humor in our lives. We need something that just makes us feel good. Get you something to drink. Get you some crackers or some cookies or egg rolls. And watch Jeanne Robertson. And tell me what you think about her comedy. And maybe the Lord will give me a miracle. Maybe He will turn me into a stand-up comic. Now, I'm not going to lose any sleep over thinking about that, since I never did get on the Johnny Carson show, and he's gone too. Too late now. Watch Jeanne Robertson. Take my word for it. I'm telling you this because I want you to do something that's enjoyable. And I want you to come back to me and tell me what you thought of her story. And be sure and watch the one about her pantyhose. It's my favorite. Maybe it's the similarity. Well, I've got the hiccup. I guess I need a drink of Dr. Pepper. I bought a new thermos. This is not it. I've been using this in about 5 years. I've got at least 6 thermoses in my cabinet. And after I bought them, tried them out, I didn't like it. I've stuck with this one for 5 years. So a couple of weeks ago, I bought a new one. I've been using it, and every time I'd take a drink out of it, I'd say, I don't like this canister. So I'm back to my old one. If you need a thermos, just let me know, but you're going to have to come get it, because I'm not going to send it to you. So now for my Dr. Pepper. And I want the Dr. Pepper Company to know I've been advertising for them for 3.5 years. It's time they sent me a check. Thank you, folks. Yep. Time to take the glasses off.